So, and did you ever have any interesting spiritual experiences being in the caves?
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
So, what was the most memorable? Что было самое запоминающееся из духовных экспириенсов, переживаний вот именно жизни в пещере?
Well, the reason why I ended up falling in love with nature is because first I ended up, like I said before, like I grew up in the Boston area.
Почему я так люблю природу? Потому что я вырос в Бостоне.
And then, my mom had, do you know Huntington's disease?
Actually, no.
Oh, well, it's a very rare, kind of like a neurological disorder, and
У мамы было очень странное заболевание.
So, she needed a lot of attention, and sometimes she was homeless, and she had, back then, a lot of people, in my teenager years, like, there's a lot of movies made out of South Boston. That particular neighborhood, like in South I grew up in, where like all those Irish gang movies are about, Italian gang movies are, like, that's where I'm from, but my mom was homeless sometimes.
В общем, у него было тяжелое детство, и иногда его мама была бездомной.
So I grew up protecting my mother from a lot of street activities, just being homeless in that environment, or I just wanted to finish school, but the neighborhoods back then really did have a lot of violence. There really actually was a lot of fighting, and so I just wanted to go to school, but there was a lot of problems on the street.
В общем, он постоянно сталкивался со всякими с проблемами на улицах, когда там оказывался вместе с матерью.
Like Charlestown. So anyway, when I started hitchhiking, when I was about 17 and 18, I wanted to get out of that Boston area.
И у него накапливалось огромное желание уйти не только из Бостона и его конкретных плохих районов, но и вообще от общества, в общем, отдохнуть, изолироваться.
But back then, I thought people were evil. I thought everybody was evil. And
мне казалось, что люди это зло.
I thought if life was that hard at such a young age, like, that I would never live to be 30. You know what I mean? Like, so
я считал, что я не доживу до 30.
And so when I first left Boston, I actually was hitchhiking because I was so depressed. I thought somebody would kill me.
Когда я покинул Бостон и свою жизнь в нем, мне казалось, что в незнакомых-то местах меня тем более обязательно убьют очень скоро.
And because I saw my mother, a lot of people, a lot of physical fighting. I saw my mother in a lot of physical fights, and I personally fought with my mother as a teenager. Like, that was just the kind of neighborhood that it was.
Поскольку он постоянно вместе с матерью участвовал в драках, в общем, отбивался от всех, как мог.
And it was just because of her disease that people thought that she had a drug problem, but it was just the way Huntington's disease affects the body. It makes your body look like you're a junkie or something.
So anyway, when you left,
when I left
Boston,
I was hitchhiking.
Went to nature?
I was hitchhiking because I thought that I thought maybe somebody would kill me. and I didn't want. I was suicidal actually. Like I just
В общем, он
was so depressed.
был суицидальным, депрессивным.
And then so I hitchhiked to Arizona.
И
And
потом он попал в Аризону.
and as soon as I left the area, like everybody who picked me up was really friendly, and I realized really quickly that.
Did you do auto stop there?
Huh?
Did you go to Arizona using auto stop like this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
В общем, автостопом он добрался до Аризоны, и несмотря на то, что ему казалось, что когда он покинет Бостон, его там тем более уж убьют, оказалось все наоборот, и все водители, и все люди, особенно в Аризоне, были с ним очень дружелюбны.
And and I eventually met a couple guys from New Hampshire. They were going all the way to Sedona. They wanted to go to Sedona, Arizona. And so
И многие автостопщики хотели добраться именно до Седоны в Аризоне.
And so this was like 1996 or something.
Это было в 1996 году приблизительно.
And so I went, and so when I got there, I fell in love with it.
Когда я попал в Седону, я влюбился в это место.
But I also had a really every single person I met along the way was very friendly.
И я влюбился в тех людей, которых я встречал на своем пути из Бостона в Аризону.
So I realized it was just my environment that was negative and not everybody, you know.
И я понял, что это всего лишь мое окружение в Бостоне было негативным, что это не мир такой, а вот. So and when you came to Sedona, and when you liked the place, and when you liked the people you traveled with, so why did you decide to try some life in caves and in nature?
You know, I guess it's funny, I just was instantly comfortable. I didn't even realize how comfortable I was until I got there.
You just tried to spend a night in a cave, you mean?
Oh no, when I was traveling across the country, I was in and out of different vehicles, but then when I got to Arizona, instantly I was living outside immediately.
В общем, как я приехал в Аризону, я стал жить на улице, потому что я был бездомным, и я открыл, что это, оказывается, было там комфортно.
But at first I was with some random people who I didn't know very well at this camp. And then, you know,
В общем, там было что-то вроде комьюнити бездомных даже.
You know, and then I suppose I'm after 2-3 days in Sedona, I met this guy, Adam, and he was do you know what a Sundance is? Like, it's like a Lakota ceremony where they pierce the chest and they hang.
Is it like hippie stuff or more like Native American stuff?
Yeah, it's very.
В общем, он там встретился с коренными американцами, с индейцами, то бишь. And you did that ceremony for yourself?
Well, yes and no. Yeah, this. Well, at first, I first ended up in Sedona, and I just stayed for a couple days, even though I fell in love with it. But after a couple days that I was in Sedona, I met this guy, and he's said he was going up to South Dakota, and
В общем, индеец ему сказал, что я собираюсь в Дакоту, and invited you to
he
go
invited
with
me
him.
to go with him
И
to Little Eagle.
пригласил поехать с собой в это путешествие.
Вот прям как Карлос Кастанеда.
So this was like 22, 24 years ago, I suppose. So when I went up to Little League, South Dakota, it was the Standing Rock Reservation in South Dakota.
В Южной
So that's the
Дакоте была
Dakota.
резервация, куда они ехали.
and at the time they were getting ready for their Sundance. And
И когда он туда попал, они были готовы к так называемому танцу солнца, Sundance.
and I had met certain people who were facilitating that particular dance. One of my friends was one of those guys. He was but in order for people to do Sundance, Sundance is very intense. Part of preparing for Sundance is to do something called Vision Quest. And
В
Vision
общем,
Quest.
подготовка к этому очень долгая и специфическая. Какой-то там Vision Quest присутствует.
The Lakota word for Vision Quest is Hamblecha, and
Это индейское слово для Vision Quest, Хамлетча.
that means crying for vision. So,
Плакать, просить видение.
so in order to do Vision Quest, you are just naked with a blanket and certain ceremonial tools. They have their pipe and their buffalo skull and their blanket only.
В общем, ты голый, у тебя есть одеяло только для
No water,
этой церемонии. Ни
no
воды,
food,
ни еды.
and they're totally on top of a hill, exposed
На вершине горы,
exposed to nature for 4 days alone.
предоставленной природе на 4 дня.
So,
And all these 4 days you should cry for a vision. You
Well,
should ask for a vision.
well, they're preparing their bodies for Sundance, and they're praying to. Some of them are praying to have a specific vision, or just why am I alive, or Creator, what am I doing here? Like,
В общем,
like something
чаще
like that.
всего они спрашивают про смысл жизни, что они вообще здесь делают и так далее. So, did you participate in that Sundance or not really?
Well, no. What happened was I was asked to help with the Vision Quest camp. Like, so everybody who was doing Sundance, I was allowed to help the Vision Quest
В
camp.
общем, а ему
So
позволили там
I was allowed to
пребывать, помогать, смотреть.
to help people who are going to the Dakotas, like who are already on the res getting ready for their own ceremony. I was getting them ready to do their Vision Quest. So that meant that I was babysitting certain ceremonial tools. I was babysitting the sweat lodges.
Иногда он следил за детьми тех людей, которые готовились к этому Vision Quest.
At that time, certain ceremonial tools are like buffalo skulls, for instance, and on their reservation there's a lot of wild dogs, so they would want the dogs to stay away from the ceremonial tools. So part of my job was to scare dogs.
В общем, там полно в резервации бродячих собак, и одна из его работ была отгонять этих собак.
And then after that, part of my job was so as the medicine people when people would do their vision quest, first they would do Sweat Lodge, and then they would get transported from the lodge to the location where they're gonna do their vision quest. So my job was to get them from inside the Sweat Lodge, where they're not allowed to speak for 4 days.
В общем, иногда он им помогал перемещаться, хотя участвующие в этом Vision Quest не должны были ни с кем разговаривать в течение 4 дней. And after that quest, did your friend tell you about some visions he got or something like that?
Oh yeah, everybody has different. Yeah, everybody.
What was the most interesting? Это уже я его спрашиваю, делились ли люди, прошедшие этот Vision Quest, своими впечатлениями с ним.
I'll tell you my own. Because.
So and you finally did your Vision Quest.
At this point, I've done many different ceremonies.
В общем, потом уже он и сам прошел за 20 лет множество церемоний, в том числе Vision Quest, и сейчас расскажет о своих впечатлениях. Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'll tell you, and this is at the end of a ceremony, the details of the ceremony are very intense, and in order to get from the beginning to end is a whole nother story,
В общем, это длинная история и так далее. But what was the most impressive spiritual vision you had?
So I'll tell you. So at the very end of this one ceremony that I did in Tecate, Mexico.
Это было в Мексике, его личная церемония уже, не в Дакоте.
Again, identical to Sundance, like no food, only, no drugs, no alcohol.
Да. Но было похоже на ту церемонию в Дакоте.
Water, praying hard, like sober ceremonies,
В общем, он упомянул, кстати, что никаких наркотиков, ни еды, ни воды, ни наркотиков в течение 4 дней.
So at the end of this one, so I'll tell you, at the end of the ceremony, I fell down. I had laid down on the ground. All the other dancers were finished with their ceremony, and that meant that they were already eating food. They were finished. They were already engaging
В общем,
each other.
в конце, когда уже все остальные участники церемонии приступили к еде, а он лег на землю, и вот, наверное, сейчас будет.
And we had been dancing and fasting and praying for 4 days ahead of and I had chose to do a 5th day all by myself. And a lot of Mayans and Aztecans and different tribal people there, as well as, anyway, my personal vision at that ceremony was that so I wanted to lay down in the middle of the ceremony ground, but everybody else was already done. The ceremony was already over, and I was the last one in there, and I still wanted to stay. And I wasn't sure why I wanted to stay, but I just was compelled to stay. And I asked the elders, "Can I keep dancing?" And they said, "As long as you keep, just honor it as if it was still going on for you, you're allowed to stay."
Он себе, выбрал еще один день оставаться в этой церемонии. Он спросил у старейшин, можно ли, они ему ответили, если тебе кажется это целесообразным, продолжай.
Танцевать. Ты не говоришь, что церемония это танцы.
Но это все спорно. And
So-
what was the vision?
So the vision was, at that point, you know, I laid down and I had put my head down at the altar, right in the middle, and all of a sudden, like as real as this, like as real as like us sitting in this car right now, like hundreds of hands started reaching up from like the ground,
Interesting.
grabbing.
В общем, когда уже все закончилось, а он там остался, он лег на алтарь, и это было очень реальным. Тысячи рук из земли коснулись него.
And they were grabbing me all over my arms and all over my body, and from under the ground. And
В общем, он был весь оплетен руками чьими-то, и это было для него очень реально, точно
when I
так же, как мы сейчас в этой машине.
when I felt that, it felt like it got me nervous, and instantly I became nervous naturally, and then
Я, конечно, офигел от этого.
hold on one second.
Feel inspired. Oh, Jah. Oh, Jah. Oh, Jah. Ooh. And I say, oh, Jah, please be my God. And these, oh, please help me take one step at a time. For there are those whose lives are harder than mine. So please, oh please, help me take one step at a time. Waka yaka yo. Waka yaka yo. Waka yaka yo. Waka yaka yo. Melodies echo in my soul. Meditation shows me why you wrote. 'Cause there are times I want to control